anyway.
Is this what people call strategy?
What's wrong? Can't take the heat?
People fear what they cannot understand.
What did I do?
I must not fall.
Humanity can be so much more.
My countermeasures are ready, even if you are not.
Hey everybody, welcome back to PFW Esports here. After a nail-biting game for Rocket League, we're switching over to League and slowing things down here a little bit, but not too slow. In 30 seconds here, we're going to have our first match for NACE League here, at least for me this season. But let's talk through the rosters here just so everyone's on the same page. PFW is going for a very interesting comp here. We've got Malphite top, Kha'Zix jungle, Hui mid, and a very classic Xayah Rakan bot lane. That immediately tells me that we can play Peel here, but more importantly, we're looking to contest that dive. And speaking of dive, we gotta talk about the red team here. K'Sante, Vi, Diana, Kaisa, and Nami. That is pure aggression. And to commit against aggression, you can either counter dive or you can play a very solid Peel. And I do think PFW's composition here does give them the flexibility, but UNCG's dive comp is lethal. Kaisa, always a fantastic ADC. Nami, always a fantastic support. That bot lane is going to be very entertaining to watch here, and this top lane is going to be very entertaining too with the Kasane and Malphite matchup here. The mid lane is going to be a little interesting here. Diana versus Hui. I do believe this is Hui favored, but Diana never cares too much about her lane, but cares about roaming, something that Hui might struggle to keep up with here. But if Kha'Zix and Hui can team up here and look for some prio together, we can play some picks. And that is one of our side win conditions here, I do believe, in this roster. Being able to play with, Kha'Zix should give us some tempo on objectives and just add pressure to a already quickly roaming Vi and Diana. So let's see what happens here. Starting off, it is the new season, season 26 here. These games are going to go a lot faster than we're used to. I do throw the statistic around without even knowing if it's true or not, but I do believe somewhere the games have gone down by 3 minutes on average, just because of the way they've redistributed the total amount of gold on the Rift into the towers, and the new change where Demolish now procs on the tower instead of it being in your rune page. Matchups-wise, I do believe I would assume bot lane's pretty even here. Xayah, when she gets Essence Reaver, or whatever the new meta item is for her, I do believe it's still Essence Reaver, is going to be her big spike. And I do believe that outspikes Kaisa unless she goes Collector here, which I fully intend her going. But in all honesty, it looks like UNCG here is going to have more tempo. I do think I'm speaking about the wrong teams here, actually. I'm not entirely sure. I do believe we're the red side. So if that is the case, I am optimistic about red team's composition here. Storm Red looking for a really good 50. Wow. Looking for a really good trade there on the top side against Malphite. That is a very, very aggressively winning matchup for K'Sante, I do believe. Malphite really struggles against long-term skirmishes. Malphite being a champion that 1Q, drains a third of your mana bar, means that you can't stay in for very long, and you have to be very conservative about how you play around. So I assume a Tab Ice is going to be built very quickly for Malphite. Yeah, looking at the matchup here, Hui is actually losing this pretty hard, taking every Q Diana's throwing to their face. Kaisa Nami, very threatening bot lane here as well. Pretty even on the CS here for the bot side, and top side 2 is actually pretty even, but definitely missing a lot more than I assumed. It looks like top side's fighting a lot more, which is, expected for a top lane matchup of that type. They're always looking to fight if it's not a range differential. And yeah, K'Sante just trying to stay on this wave, bouncing back to him very slowly here. Yeah, the beginning of this game is going to be very slow here, but let's talk about objectives. Objectives are very important, and they have changed quite a bit since last season. No more Otacon, I do believe. I do believe that timers have been reshuffled, so Baron's back in 20 minutes. And yeah, 20-minute Baron, meaning timers are super compressed here, and we do have a Dragon coming up in a minute 13 here. In terms of who's going to go for the Dragon, I do believe that Vi is going to always have the priority over Kha'Zix, and I do believe that Vi counters Kha'Zix. I do think that's a pretty important matchup. I haven't played League long enough to know. Oh, wow, that E-Connect is crazy from Vi. Kha'Zix stands perfectly perpendicular to Hui there, and that causes Vi E to connect Pixel perfectly. Fantastic gank there from the Vi. Good wave here for the bot lane, but you can see that Xayah and Rakan are looking to push this wave as aggressive as they can, making sure that they don't get dove on here, and also are looking for some, just object pressure. They want to make sure that they can stay on this objective in case they go for it, but what's going to end up happening here is I do think that Xayah and Rakan are going to have to back before Kai'Sa and Rakan, just because of, they're going to have to back before Kai'Sa and Nami. Just because, they're pushing so hard, the amount of mana they're going to have to use and the amount of trades they'll be taking, hopefully, would cause them to leave here. But this is a cannon wave that just spawned, which means that in 5 minutes they haven't backed yet. With 44 CS on both of them, that's a lot of money they're holding. So that does immediately tell me that this dragon isn't being looked for. A very clear sign that you're looking for a dragon is if your bot lane resets, because they have the highest value on that dragon. They're the quickest to fight for it, and I do believe very high level meta, they're sending their top laner down as well to play for that. There's a lot of signs, but I'm not seeing any of those signs right now. Looks like Vi wants to keep farming, and same with the Kha'Zix here. Kha'Zix really won't be able to take this dragon for free, for sure, and that's something that the red team here is going to have to be very wary of. Good trades here from Hui, but so far it's been a pretty chill game. Diana with a lead on the mid side there. Not exactly what I was expecting, but I could be mistaken on how that matchup goes. Vi finally there on that bot scuttle, looking at taking it, hopefully go for the dragon here. It looks like we are starting dragon. Good great trade there from K'Sante. Wow, way too many names. And a good ult there from Diana. Malphite with 0 mana is going to be forced to back here, and no TP from Malphite means that they are not challenging this dragon at all. That will be a free dragon for the red side here. Just amazing trades there from K'Sante, pushing him back in his net. Net. I've been talking about Rocket League way too much recently. Back in his tower. Maybe it is his net. Who knows? Oh, looks like Kai'Sa's caught a little alone here, but nothing's going to happen from that. Speedy Taco here. Looking to fight against Taro. Unfortunately, won't make the Q connect. Flashes over into the pit here. Good ult from Vi, but unfortunately will go down because of the isolation damage. Does not move to the K'Sante quick enough, but looks like a double kill is obviously always going to be worth it here for the red team. Oh, Kai'Sa looking to finish it off, and won't be able to. Xayah, 1 HP. That does not mean she can stay here, though. 1 W from Kai'Sa and 1 well-placed Nami Q is going to kill Xayah here. But let's see. Are they going to go for it? 1 Q from Kai'Sa will clear this wave. And looks like they might go for the first demolition proc here. Let's see if they can get it off. Looks like the money just went to Nami there, but seems like Kai'Sa's going to be okay with that. Bounty on the Diana here pretty early. That's not what you want to see, especially when your team, looking at Hui's perspective, is so squishy. You have a Xayah who can get away from the Diana, but you're not getting away from Diana and Vi and K'Sante and Nami. And then you have Hui, who doesn't really have much movement capabilities, and Kha'Zix, who is going to have to evolve his jump here if he wants to get in and out of these fights, which is something that, Kha'Zix needs. Oh, looks more like we're challenging the Void Grubs. Unfortunately, Vi does take another trade. I do believe that Kha'Zix is the one that counters Vi. We didn't get to see the pick order. I think that would help jog my memory a bit more. But you can see that isolation damage for Kha'Zix does so much. And that just is two-shotting a full item Vi. Looking for a good fight here in the top lane. Malphite getting a good trade, a far better trade than I thought would happen on Cassante, but it's these long exposure fights that's going to cause Malphite to have to back away. The question is, will he get jungle support to push away the Cassante? The thing about Malphite is that he doesn't really care if he loses or wins his matchup. When you pick a tank in League of Legends, you don't really get to decide if you win or lose your matchup, because you are just, at the end of the day, a utility bot. You want a CC, and depending on what tank you're playing, you might offer more to the team. Like Ornn, who has always been so threatening, right? Sion, one of the best champions in League of Legends last season. They have so much to offer, and so they don't really care about their matchups too much, as long as they play it safe, which Malphite has been doing a pretty good job at. Looking at the money gaps here, we can see that Diana is up 1,100 gold almost against the Wei. Bot lane keeping it pretty close, and top lane looking to close that gap, or increase that gap rather, actually right now. Good ult from Cassante means that Malphite won't be able to go back to his tower here. Good ult from Malphite here. Will Cassante be able to get back? Unfortunately, he doesn't. Cassante won't be able to get that kill, but that's okay, because what Cassante is going to look to do here is hopefully freeze. Give me just 1 second. I have completely forgotten how to move out of locked view. But for the meantime, we will be watching this Malphite, who is having the time of his life, by the way. This matchup is not fun for him whatsoever. There we go. Let's see. Second objective coming up in 38 seconds. That will be the dragon here. Red team does have one dragon secured. Let's see if they can secure the second dragon of the match. Dragon Soul, as always, a very good objective to go for here, especially if you are uncontested. But now that Kha'Zix is a little more fed than their jungler, there might be a contest happening here, at least a steal attempt at minimum, if they want to try and secure this. With Void Grip secured, they are able to secure more tower pressure, so I'm hoping that when they catch Diana moving, they look to push mid. And by pushing mid, they be able to farm those tower plates for Hui. Cassante just trying to push that wave in. Unfortunately, Malphite doing an incredibly good job getting that out, but I'm surprised the Tabites haven't been purchased yet on Malphite's side, and I'm curious if that's because second rune there is Inspiration. He's getting Magical Footwear, which wouldn't surprise me. That would be coming in pretty soon here, if I had to guess. Cassante does teleport in for this dragon. Now, we're going to have to be pretty focused on what this dragon's going to look like, because it seems like it's going to be a full contestation here. Speedy Taco engaging on this dragon first here. Looks like red team wants this. Diana just fishing out Qs in the bush. I almost wish they didn't reveal themselves like that, but Taraboba does try and go for the steal, but I do believe that E-Flash does mean that there's no more chance. But Hui steals the Cloud Dragon, and I'm not even sure if Hui can do that, and I'm curious where the smite went, and it looks like Vi actually didn't keep the smite open. Looking at how the cooldown's going, it looks like it was already halfway, perhaps, when they started Dragon. Little eager smite there, and I'm wondering if it was communicated at all that the smite was missing. Or if they could have pulled the dragon out, wait for Diana to kind of bait out something. But they do secure a Kha'Zix flash. I'm hoping that does lead into a kill on Kha'Zix. But Diana here looking to get any punishment, but unfortunately might get counter-killed here. Diana getting 1v3'd by not only Hui and Kha'Zix, but the Raptors. This is not how you want to see this game going for Red Team whatsoever. Not only do you get a dragon stolen by Hui, someone who you would not expect to be stealing dragons, but you're also going for what should be a pretty easy dive, but instead failing to get it. Speedy Taco does get that Kha'Zix kill like I was hoping they would. No flash just mean that's a lot more, that's a lot easier of a kill for Vi. Bit of a level differential here on the top side. I'm very interested to see how that happened. I guess apart from the teleport that Kha'Zix did, but I don't think Cassante is too concerned about that whatsoever. Ooh, we did not see that CS miss, buddy. We did not see it at all. So at this point in the game, you know, Rift Roll's spawning in a minute, and I'm looking at the map right now, and that's something that I think a lot of players starting in the game, you know, kind of forget about. Objectives don't matter when they're on the Rift. They matter, you know, minutes before they're on the Rift. And I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to plan for this. Diana looking to set up some wards here on the top side, get some vision cleared. Looks like the red team is going to go for this. But Kha'Zix is also going to be contesting here on the top side. But I'm curious if they're going to move the bot lane at all. And it's looking like they're going to keep bot lane playing. They're not going to send their supports up or anything, which could be a game changer. Nami and Rakan are two incredibly pivotal supports. Having them, you know, on that objective is so crucial, so important. You have Rakan W, you have Rakan ult, you have Nami Q, you have Nami ult. All those abilities are they're going to change the course of the fight, especially when you're playing against two dive comps. But K'Sante here, not going to pay much attention to the potential of a gank here, and it's going to have to flash and go back. Looks like he does have an Unleashed teleport waiting for him due to the new Season 26 quest system. So getting back won't be a problem here. Or I do believe Unleashed teleport will come up before that, and I do think that his teleport becomes Unleashed. I think that's what it is. But again, bot lane not moving a bit here. Rakan looking to dive in, but I wouldn't be expecting a fight to go well here for either team. It looks like they just want to buy time and farm. Yeah, Kha'Zix just going to absolutely destroy that objective. Vi, fortunately, is back at base. Wasn't able to be there for the Rift Herald, and it looks like as far as topside objectives go, blue team is winning. And that's actually very, very important for a team like that. Being able to just slowly chip away at towers when the red team is looking for these crucial dives and collapsing on the blue team does mean that when they go for towers, they have to all do it together. Split pushing K'Sante would work here, and that would be very good for them. But I do believe that the Void Grub and the Rift Herald is going to be very pivotal, pivotal for the team here. Another attempt here by Diana. Unfortunately, I don't think she landed one of those abilities. I'm not too sure, but wait, a lot tankier than he looks. I do think the Doran's Ring is doing a lot of work here. Oh, Kha'Zix looking for a kill. As long as Diana stays around the minions, isolation won't go through, but it's not enough. Kha'Zix looking incredibly fed here with 2 lethality items and a serrated Dirk. Kha'Zix is looking lethal, farming those evolutions as fast as he can. This is looking to be a very intense game here. 5 and 8 for the red team here. And if we look at our money here, we haven't done that in a little bit. We can see kind of what we are expecting. Kha'Zix up by 2 grand, a far bigger number than I was expecting. But Diana still holding that lead pretty well. Diana does have to worry about her mid-game spike here. So these dives failing for her does mean that over time she's going to lose her efficiency and importance. Agency, I think, is a far better term for it. Compared to Hui, someone who right now is 0-4, but has so many utility abilities that it won't even matter. Their WinCon right now, apart from the Kha'Zix, who later on won't develop to be at WinCon, is going to be the Xayah. And if Xayah can even out this game for the blue team here, Hui is able to get back into the game, and they are able to play a peel back composition against the red team here. Looks like the red team here is going for Dragon, and looks like we have a Chem Dragon here. And look at that. So, blue team drops the Rift Herald, looking to push an advantage here on the bot side, keeping those dudes clear. Diana trying to get a good ult off of onto the Kha'Zix. Does get it, but unfortunately that means that Diana ulted on one person. Won't be able to get a good enough collapse here as the red team would like. K'Sante here. Malphite ulted a little too eagerly, I think. Let's see what happens here. K'Sante just trying to move it out, trying to stay back here, waiting for their abilities to come back up. They're not too comfortable on this dive, so it looks like the blue team is just going to keep on going here. This isn't the type of fight that red team wants. They want to dive in. They want to go fast with no Diana ult. K'Sante 1 HP. Nami no ult, Diana no ult, means that you won't be able to go in. There's no way to follow up. There's never an engage. And just like that, we're closing that gap up so quickly. And now this dragon is going to go over to the blue side. And no second dragon, or what should have been for them, the third dragon for red team. This game's going in a very interesting direction here. Not one that the red team's very interested in, but the blue team is getting these like combative victories that they weren't honestly expecting to get. That fight wasn't played very well by the red team at all, and the blue team, you know, just saw that and said, okay, Xayah, do your thing. And now she's collected her 2 items here, Essence Reaver and the Vori Quick Blades. And Xayah is going to start entering her prime here against Kurt Kaisa. Without a good way to dive onto the blue team, Kaisa's not going to be able to do much except just kind of sit back, and she has to not only watch out for a Malphite, but a Kha'Zix. And, depending on the circumstances of the fight, a Rakan. Kaisa has a lot of things to worry about here, and without being able to fully dive in, they're not going to be able to get much done. Good trades here, but Malphite's reached a point in the game where he won't start taking much damage. Cassante itemizing to be a far better tank for the team, something that's very much needed here, going Frostfire Gauntlets. Or Frostborn Gauntlets. I haven't played this game in a long time, if you can't tell. Another decent fight going on the bot side, but that's not something we're interested in right now. Diana getting back into the game with an amazing shutdown on the Kha'Zix. Good kill from Xayah. Not what I was expecting, but Kaisa looking to get a 1v2. Might actually get it with Kraken Slayer here. Good flash from Kaisa. Looking to get going here, but unfortunately the CC does end up putting down the Kaisa. But that's something you have to go for when you're a Kaisa player. But Kaisa does secure the on-hit crit build here with Kaisas and Ginsu's. So decent item spike there, but Xayah is a problem. And now with the first turret down of the game, I believe, here for blue side, a lot of money just went into their pocket. Looking at the gold differentials here again. 3,000 gold difference here between Kha'Zix and Vi. Something that I'm hoping gets closed as the game goes on. The Diana shutdown does absolutely help close that gap. Let's Vi get back into the game. But around the 2K, 2,200 gold lead on Diana against Wei. And Xayah, not as big of a gap as you'd expect. That's what high CS numbers do. You know, it keeps the game close. But 800 gold is not something to laugh about. That's definitely pretty big. And the most important one here, honestly, is the support gold gap. Which, honestly, not very true at all. I'm not sure if they fixed this yet, but I do think they're trying to move more money into supports with the new, like, quest system, and I think merging all the support items into one. But I'm still not sure if items on supports are that effective. You know, like for casters, I'm sure it is, and Nami definitely doesn't want to see a like 600 gold differential against her, but Rakan's just going to build more tank items and mana regen items. I don't think he cares too much about the money. It is a sign, though, that if your support does have that much more money, that your type team's doing pretty well. Decent skirmish happening here. Diana there to receive the rest of it. That's exactly what red team needs to do here. Looking to finish up the Hui here. Good showing smite there from Sweetie Taco. And unfortunately, no dragon spawning here, but this could be a Baron angle. The question is, do they go for it? It is 4 players down. They have to start communicating something. Vi goes for the Gromp here, looking to just clear waves mid, but I'm a little confused on what red team wants to do here. It is just Malphite top. Baron is a completely acceptable option here, and while we're trying to get turrets down, we know we can win fights. I would be looking at this Baron Asher. I'd be looking to start another fight at this point too. I do think that is a winnable fight, but looks like we are securing hopefully 2 turrets in turn for Baron Asher, which does put money in their pockets. That's not something we can mock, but Baron Asher, now it's going to be a 50-50 split here against the blue and red team. We'll see if that's something that they want here. Not seeing any Farsight alterations being purchased by any of the ADCs. I'm not sure if that's something that's still, you know, meta, but if I'm seeing a Kha'Zix on the enemy team, my first concern is, okay, I need to see a Kha'Zix from far away, and that's very valuable for the team. But with the new Phaelites, If you see the yellow glowing circles kind of dotted around the bushes, those are the new Fey lights. If you put a ward on them, they will expose a large, and I mean large, area in the river, in the jungle, wherever those lights happen to be. So it might make Farsight Alteration a lot less useful compared to just keeping normal yellow wards, but we'll see what happens. We're gearing up for a fight here, folks. Diana, hopefully keeping her ult for a bit longer here. Okay, we got a bit of an engage here, but this isn't the engage you want. Nami ulting a little too early. Not sure what that ult was there for. A little excited there. We see a Banshee's Veil, or rather Edge of Night Veil coming out on Kha'Zix. Very good for dodging these abilities that Nami's going to throw out from time to time. Dodge is one crucial CC ability as long as Kha'Zix times it right, and he will. He's going to be hiding in the shadows, looking to steal the dragon like he attempted last time. Gearing up for an intense fight here. Let's switch over to the team fight camera. But we're just going to be waiting for an engage. We're going to be playing this game of Song and Dance. Diana gets a one-man ult. There's not enough damage to do much with it, and unfortunately does get picked out. A little too excited on that fight. Malphite just absolutely shredding the backline. If you thought ADCs have agency in this game, no, just put a Malphite in their face, and they're done for. Now, Cassante, the only one left standing, and unfortunately you just saw that entire fight was just split in half. Malphite was dealing with the backline. Backline wasn't able to move forward. And I do think it's these Diana engages that aren't working out. You're getting one-man ults when someone's kind of in your face instead of going for the people in the back bunched up. But now blue team here securing, which should be a pretty free Baron Nashor, and Malphite going for a split push. This is what I was hoping red team would do. But unfortunately that call wasn't made, and blue team connecting the dots pretty quickly here on what they need to be doing. Kai'Sa just going to be fishing out some W's, hoping to get a steal just like Hui did last time. Oh, it looks like they're backing off on the Baron. Actually not a horrible call from them. They know that they're still getting value on the bot side here, but more importantly, they know that they don't do this Baron very quickly. Now with the Infinity Edge that Xayah purchased, maybe a different argument can be made in the future, but Kha'Zix, not the tankiest or the fastest Baron killer for sure. 26 minutes on the clock here. We're gearing up for a very long game. No one's really secured a win condition yet. Baron hasn't gone down in the past 6 minutes since it's spawned. Gold is still very close here. And looks like a pause is coming in. We'll see if we can get this game going here soon. But in the meantime, we'll just wait and see what happens. But so far, really close game. In terms of compositions, not what I was expecting to have happen. I was expecting, this to be more of an objective focused game, but it seems like we're struggling on those fights on the dragon. We're struggling on choosing to go for Baron, and that could be a good play by them for sure. But, it's making decisions like that in League is tough for sure. I do think, in my personal opinion, going for Baron there for red team was favorable in that position, and that's maybe why they've lost this kind of fight. But more importantly, it's these engage fights that their entire team comes designed to do. Diana ult goes in, and then from there you pick and choose your target, you calm that target, Vi ults that target, Kai'Sa goes in, bursts in, Nami ults from the back, and then Cassante does the follow-up cleanup by ulting in and just targeting someone, sending it back to their team if they try and get away, which Xayah will do. Kha'Zix will do that. When you allow your backline to get ulted by Malphite, when you try and ult a Malphite, nothing's going to happen. So we need to talk about, as a team, how can we make sure that our engages work? Because this team comp will work. We can look at the amount of money that Diana has. She has 11,000 gold. Hui does not have anywhere near that money. You have a win condition on your board, on your Rift. You need to use it. If you have those cards, you have to play it, and it just seems like red team isn't playing that very well. Switching over to the blue team here, they're playing this very well. They're making the right choices. Even if the choices they're making aren't panning out, they're aware of the circumstances that causes that to happen, and they're going to make sure that doesn't happen next time. They know the win conditions that they want to secure here. Getting a really good dragon steal is one of them, but trying to secure the top objectives on a pretty even matchup on the top side is a good idea from them. But it seems like we're getting back in the game here very shortly. Play will resume in 0 seconds. It's been more than 0 seconds, but we'll see what happens here. Once everyone's ready, we'll switch the cameras over back into League of Legends here. We're looking at a very scary Baron Nashor fight that might honestly determine the game here. But for now, might be a bit of a farm session here. Malphite trying to contest K'Sante here on the bottom lane split push. Both teleports are up. All ultimates are up for both teams here, gearing up for what could be the game-determining fight. And if it doesn't end the game, it sure will decide whose favor the game will go in. Blue team pushing it very aggressively here. Vi still clearing the blue side of their jungle a little later than I'd hope. I wouldn't maybe go for it as aggressive, but I do think that Kai'Sa and Nami are able to stall time for the Vi to farm that, and with the amount of vision that both teams have, they're able to know if they should go for it or not. Right now, it doesn't seem like it's of interest. Kha'Zix looking to get a gank on K'Sante here, most likely. Just farming Krugs for now, and Diana looking to do much the same, trying to get onto this way, trying to farm as much gold as she can, because right now she is the win condition. 3-item Kai'Sa here will be able to do stuff as long as the fights go in their favor, which so far it hasn't been. Diana going on the way, no ult coming out thankfully, but wow, goodbye Nami. Kha'Zix taking the isolation damage to a whole new level there. And with that pick, a very crucial pick, blue team is going to be able to look for a very aggressive Baron. K'Sante has two ideas here. He can either teleport with Malphite when they do go up, which Malphite might actually not go for immediately. K'Sante is just going to go back here, but he could stay bottom if he wanted to. There could be a call here to give up Baron. Not something I would be planning for if I was in that match, but it is acceptable. Looking to take maybe a better fight here, but red team is running out of time. They have scaling champions. And Kai'Sa, well, she does scale. Diana, Vi, and Kai'Sa, these champions are mid-game champions at best. Kai'Sa scales very well because she is the best in every position realistically, but if we look at a full team, we're looking at a very powerful mid-game Apex. And the mid-game is far behind us. Now we're slipping here a little bit on the red team, and blue team is going to close this gap, hopefully with this Baron Nashor, which they've been trying to go for time and time again. Looks like we might be able to get a good gank here, but no vision on red side on an invade means that, unfortunately, Vi is just going to get collapsed on. And if Vi is collapsed, that means Baron is completely open to be taken. Diana just trying to get any kill on Kha'Zix to maybe have a chance to not let the Baron be taken. But with 2 players down, this might be a pretty free Baron. But something to note here, the HP on blue team is not high enough to maybe tank Baron all the way. And Baron does do a lot more damage now with the new updates they've been doing to Baron. We have a pretty nothing burger fight going on here between K'Sante and Malphite, but enough aftershock procs. What possibly going to happen? Blue team does secure Baron as expected, and that might actually turn this fight for Malphite and K'Sante. Okay, good ult there. Unfortunately, K'Sante isn't able to wrap around and block the Malphite ult, but decent fight there from K'Sante means that he is able to push that wave in even deeper. And when you do have Baron Nashor up on the blue team, you want to keep your waves pushed up forward. So K'Sante wants to try and deny that as much as possible. Chem Dragon does spawn up here, and that's something they have to fight for because this is soul point for blue team. And if they give up the soul point, this will be game. Way. Maybe looking to hopefully push the waves up forward a little bit more, just add some pressure with Baron Nashor there, and cause maybe someone on the red team to go contest Hwei, but instead looks like we're gearing up for a pretty basic 5v5 here. So let's take a look and see what's going to happen once we switch over to teamfight cam. So far, looks like we're going into the tri-bush and just looking for something. Xayah does do what I was expecting Hui to do and get that wave pushed up and forward, because eventually those minions will start hurting the tower, and that is pressure. That's tempo that they're generating, because they're forcing red team to make a decision on whether or not they care more about the dragon or their tower. And that's not something they want to do. You can see right now in the mid and top, both waves are being pushed in. They're spending too much time here. Something has to happen. Someone has to go. Otherwise, this game's going to keep on slipping. Just more poke coming out from Hui, and this is kind of what I was expecting in draft, you know. Doesn't matter how... oh, wow, that's a crazy blast cone. That's going to cause Malphite and Rakan to go straight in here. Malphite gets an ult on the back line there. Good kills here for red side, but is it going to be enough? K'Sante trying to get onto the Xayah. Kai'Sa somehow still alive on the against the Malphite. Flashes away there very early. And he's able to stay back there. So while Diana and Vi do die, red team is going to take a very, very happy win in that fight. And suddenly the game is going to start swinging back in their favor. Completely even on gold here. And almost completely even on kills. We're gearing up for a very long game here. We're looking at like 40 minutes, 45 minutes guaranteed. As this is going to be completely determined based on objectives. If blue team does get soul point, they're going to be looking for Elder Dragon. If blue team gets Baron, they still have to push so many waves. Same thing for red team. You know, they have 2 dragons to go before soul point. That's not something they can wait for. They didn't get that early dragon. That's causing this dilemma. That means they have to play aggressive. They have to play for towers. They have to play for just picks, dives, anything like that. They have to keep on going in and forcing things to happen. And I feel like this game's been a little too passive for this kind of composition. With nothing on the rift right now, it's going to be a bit of a farming session here. So we're going to take a bit of a chill pill and just slow down. For the past 33 minutes, it's been pretty intensive. But, you know, our next objective is 2 minutes, and it's a crucial one. Something that everyone needs to be backing for. Let's talk items here. Diana looking to finish off Rabadons, I believe. Kai'Sa, I do believe that is going to become a Nashor's, or... with Guardian Angel build, I don't think Zhonya's is going to be an option, but maybe that's still possible. Diana does unfortunately go for a dive and doesn't work out, but it's fine if you're down now. You'll be back with 30 seconds left here. Now, if they can keep Kha'Zix alive long enough, they might be able to make it so that Kha'Zix wouldn't be able to get back in time for Baron, but that's a little hard to do for sure. So they're going to secure a 1-for-1 trade. I do believe that is going to be in blue team's favor, I think. But just getting gold distributed across your ADCs at this point in the game is going to be very important. And I do think both teams are doing a pretty excellent job at that. 320 CS here on the Xayah. If we look at the gold here, we do see a almost 1k gold differential between those two. But in terms of builds, Xayah's build is going to be very lethal very early. Kai'Sa is going to have to play pretty long, engaged fights. So as long as she stays back, lets her team do the work, she'd be able to chip away at champions like Malphite and Rakan. Good pick there. Now that's a very unfortunate pick for the red team, because that does mean Nami, a very crucial champion in these fights, isn't going to be there for Baron anymore. They're going to have to solve this for, you know, over 15 seconds, and I'm hoping that blue team knows about this. Malphite not trying to get out of here, but looks like Vi won't want to fight either. Probably for the best. Vi and all red team does want to go and collapse on this Baron, starting here very aggressively. Going to switch it over to the fight team because I'm hoping there is a fight coming here soon. Kai'Sa gets a W in. Maybe it looks for an ultimate. Nice trying to steal from Vi. Unfortunately, blue team is going to secure that Baron. and no one's going to go for an engage here. I said this earlier, and I still believe this is true. I do think this Baron is going to be game deciding here. Because now, you know, something that neither team's really been doing is pushing these towers and looking for plays on these towers. A lot of money's sitting on these plates. Malphite's been the only one kind of split pushing on their own and actually pushing that in. So I'm hoping that red team is going to try and push these waves back as fast as they can and make sure that blue team doesn't secure the new win condition for them, which is going to be shoving these waves as far and as fast as they can. Dragon spawning here in 50 seconds. Soul Point, another one of their winning objectives, but this is going to be an intense fight too, and I keep saying that over and over again, but these fights have been intense. They've been very crucial, and they've been going either way, surprisingly. Now with Nami up, I'm hoping that red team knows not to get picked off here against Kha'Zix or Xayah, both champions who do a lot of burst damage. By staying bunched up together and hiding in their bushes, staying under vision, they'll be able to kind of avoid that. And I'm hoping that waves do keep getting shoved here. Looks like Diana is going to be following this wave, and looks like K'Sante already pushed that top wave or bottom wave in. So if the timing's right here, oh my, walking in a little too close. I'm not really sure what for. This does lead to a pretty free Chem Dragon and Soul for the blue team here. With not much ability to contest anymore, this game is slipping away from the red team quickly. So Chem Dragon being taken here. Looks like Soul, it does go to them, and this game is hopefully, for the blue team, going to wrap up pretty soon. But I've said this before. Okay, I've said this in PFW's favor. I've said it against PFW's favor. Every time I say it, I somehow caster curse everything, and this game might actually be on red team's favor. For my sake and sanity, I hope that I actually predict something correct for once in my life, but we'll see. Elder Dragon is the next dragon, spawning in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Not something I think blue team's looking forward to, but red team definitely will be. If they can survive long enough, even if they give a Baron here, if they can get Elder Dragon, there is a conversation to be had about this game being won. No one at their level caps here yet. K'Sante and Malphite, I do think they might be actually. I'm not sure if it's level 20 or level 21 in the new season here, but everyone on the blue team on level 18 level cap, and red team looking to get some more XP here. 2 levels down on ADC is not something you want to see. That just means Kai'Sa isn't getting her waves to herself, and Diana and Vi are looking to clear their jungle as much as possible, but it seems like they're being pressured a bit. Two minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock before Baron Nashor spawns. We got a big juicy bounty on Xayah here. If they can get this on their ADC, there's definitely a chance for Kai'Sa to get back into this game and be more of a threat against champions like Kha'Zix and Hui. But right now, Kai'Sa isn't going to be able to get close to any of these champions. She has to watch out for way too many abilities on these team fights. You know, you have Rakan W, you have Rakan R, you have Xayah R, you have Xayah E rather, you have Hui everything, you have Kha'Zix, you have Malphite. Kai'Sa has to watch out for everything. Looks like blue team's coming, that Diana is seen in that bush there. Looks like we're maybe going for a pick, but I do think that Clash is going to be happening on the top side here. This is going to be an important fight. If red team loses this, they might lose an inhibitor, or worse, their Nexus. Nami down here does get her abilities off, which after her first ability cycle, she's not going to be very useful anymore. So in terms of deaths, that's not one that's going to be bad, but this inhib take is going to be pretty uncontested for the blue team. Looks like they're going to keep on trying to push this forward. They do have mid inhib open as well, so they're going to look to rotate here on the red side, or on the bot side for the red tower here. And with 3 inhibs open, they have full priority on any objective they like. With another inhib taken here. Baron coming in 40 seconds. Looks like we have an intense fight. Or, keep saying that, here's this muscle memory. I don't think this fight's going to be intense at all. I think blue team's going to have a free objective here, and they're going to come back, and they're going to end this game, or they might end it right now with that pick from Kha'Zix onto the Diana. Long fight here. K'Sante tries to go in for an ult here, but unfortunately not much is going to happen. Vi trying to get a pick on anybody here, tries to get the way. Wei just going to barely make it out alive, I think. K'Sante trying to get kills here, but unfortunately the game is going to end here from the blue team. Pretty intense match, all things considered. A lot closer than I was expecting it, but blue team on the macro level and composition level, I do think they played that correctly. Red team, I think there could be more engage, more coordination, and honestly more patience needed in this match for sure. I think the composition they had is really strong, far better than theirs, I'd want to argue, but if you aren't able to play it, you know, at 22 minutes, let's just say, then there's going to be problems. We saw a lot of crazy stuff happen there. We had the Dragon Steal from Hui, which wasn't meant to happen. And we had a really good team fight from Red Team there as well. But unfortunately, I do believe that is PFW down 0-1 in their NACE JV match here. Now, we're going to come back from a quick little break, and we'll see what's next. It might be Rocket League. Stay tuned.